everybody. Welcome to another edition of Talking Shit. We got a special edition of Talking Shit. I did a showgram this morning, and I've just been overwhelmed with this anxiety and fear about this thing that's going on in Ferguson, Missouri. Real quick, I wanted to make some comments and do a little commentary on it. I am just flabbergasted at how blatant and open the inequality and racial discrimination and what's about to take place here in this town. They're obviously going to let this cop go. I don't believe he'll face trial. And I wanted to talk a little bit more detail about what I was discussing this morning, and I've done some more research. And apparently, prosecutor Robert McCulloch, or McCulloch, I don't know how to say his name. I guess it's Rob McCulloch. Basically, is friends with this cop, and his dad was apparently gunned down or killed by two black men earlier in their past. And so this guy is failing at presenting evidence to a group of people. See, a grand jury is convened not necessarily to presume guilt for the individual they're looking at. Their job is to see if there's enough evidence to take this matter to trial. That's all. They're not going to... They don't have to prove that the cop is guilty. They just need enough reasonable evidence to see that this needs to go to court. And the idea that they're somehow making the whole decision on whether or not the cop is guilty or not just seems really conflicting. Besides the fact that Robert has already tampered the jury pool, if there was a jury trial, by going ahead and letting Tom Jackson, the chief of police, sort of dictate what the media is going to be releasing. If this were to go to trial, the jury pool has already been tampered with based on the fact that they've released certain evidence, of course, that is not in the victim's favor. You know, the idea that he had gone to the convenience store and harassed these people over there, which I think is horrible. He shouldn't have done that. But last I heard in this country, strong arm robbery is, the penalty for that is not being executed in the middle of the street. You know, that we're not doing that right now. So it just sounds like a fucked up horror story is what that. I wanted to talk a little bit about Jay Nixon and some of his decisions that he and Tom Jackson have been making, chief of police, and of course the governor of the state of Missouri. They have called in the National Guard, saying that it's also due to the weather, but to make sure that everybody is ready. I saw some footage today where people are boarding up their shops, acting like Hurricane Katrina hit the Cobb. And basically, this grand jury has already made their decision, and these people are more involved in the strategical aspect of how they're going to deal with the public and not accepting this decision in that town. The idea that this man shot this young man down who was unarmed in cold blood. I got people tweeting me saying, well, his hands probably weren't really up. I mean, this kind of bullshit is why this stuff is presented as legit. The kind of frame of mind that it takes to not really, really investigate this kind of stuff. The idea that they have these recordings of the officer right before all this took place, but there's no indication in the recordings that someone was coming after him or grabbing at his gun or any of that. You know, I just am leery. I'm just sort of worried about how dishonest all this stuff is and how this cop is just going to walk away from it and not have to deal with any of the reality of taking another man's life. You know, and thank God he didn't kill both of those guys. I was telling one guy, well, maybe he should have just ran him over with his car. I mean, at least there'd be less drama. But he can say, oh, fuck, I accidentally ran the guy over. But to literally shoot this man 6 times just really troubles me, because I can't believe that they are not going to take this gentleman to trial. Because if he really is innocent, why don't we let a jury of his peers decide that? You know, why don't we let the justice system work this out? And I don't believe the grand jury is being very honest. And the last comment I want to make is about the prosecution again. This guy, this prosecutor, he cannot even convince the grand jury with all this evidence to actually take the matter and turn it over to the courts and take this gentleman to trial and charge him. So obviously, when he goes to prosecute this cop, he is going to fail if he can't even get the goddamn thing out of the grand jury. So it's already kind of a double. It's already kind of a double whammy. You know, we got your friend saying that he is going to be in charge of whether or not you go to trial, and then if somebody just happens to get honest in that grand jury, that you still got your bases covered because this is the guy that's going to eventually try to prosecute you. So there's a blatant conflict of interest here, and I am going to keep you informed. I am not happy with all this bullshit. I wanted to come down to the studio tonight and really just kind of pontificate on this stuff because I really am appalled by how ignorant some of the people in the community. Earlier I was making comments about like famous black people that have money and have the power to say, wait a minute, you know, this is bullshit. But what about other people who are not people of color? You know, people like whoever the hell President Obama is going to choose to replace Eric Holder, who's leaving the Attorney General spot. You know, why isn't I don't know, I think the Fed should look into this. I mean, we got Robert down there basically covering up for the cop. We got the governor down there basically covering up for the prosecutor. We got the prosecutor being assisted by the police department to help foil the opportunity for this to actually go to trial. And I don't think the federal government is involved enough here. It just seems really weird. It just reminds me of that movie, Mississippi Burning. You know, and I believe that if they don't arrest this motherfucker, some shit's gonna be on fire in Ferguson. I am not advocating that, but I am not gonna distort the facts. I'm 47 years old. That's all the time we have now for talking shit. Join me next time. Until then, I'll see you when it's time to eat. Bye!